We often think of these ancient texts as, well, ancient, maybe stuck on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah, like they don't have much to say to us now.
Exactly. But what if something like, say, a military strategy book from thousands of years ago actually had uh, some really sharp insights for today, for leading a team or even just tackling our own
Well,
goals?
that's pretty much what we're digging into today. We're looking at Sun Tzu's Art of War,
Right. The art of war.
but not really about, actual warfare, more like a surprisingly relevant guide for strategic thinking,
Mhm.
leadership, stuff you can use for basically any goal you've got, an old school playbook for modern challenges.
Precisely. So our mission here in this deep dive is to pull out that core wisdom from Sun Tzu, looking the key stuff in this executive summary we've been studying.
Yeah, see how these really old ideas might give you a fresh angle on your own challenge.
Whether that's, I don't know, running a project at work or maybe even just a big personal goal you're trying to hit.
And what's cool is the original text kind of hints at this broader use, doesn't it? It draws parallels between conflict and, well, other pursuits. Business comes up specifically.
Suggesting some basic principles for getting things done are just universal.
Pretty much. So where do we start?
Okay, let's get into it. Sun Tzu says the outcome of any big undertaking, he calls it war. But remember, we're using that as a metaphor for any goal. Really, it's shaped by 5 key things, 5 constant factors.
Right, 5 facts.
Let's kick off with the first one, the moral law. Now, okay, sounds a bit lofty.
It does sound a bit philosophical, yeah. But Sun Tzu's point is actually very practical. It's fundamentally about ethical leadership.
Okay, how so?
It's about creating unity, like real harmony in a team.
Yeah.
The idea is if a leader acts with integrity, if they're fair, if they genuinely care about their people.
People will be loyal.
Exactly. Deep loyalty, dedication, even willing to make sacrifices.
The summary we read put it nicely. Love begets love, and leadership begets followership. Makes sense, really.
It's almost common sense, yeah. If you feel valued, supported,
Yeah.
you're going to invest more, right? Go the extra mile.
Definitely.
And the summary contrasts this with that whole performer perish thing.
Oh, yeah, the pressure cooker approach.
Right. Might
Yeah.
get quick results, maybe, but it doesn't build that deep loyalty. People feel disposable. They check out mentally.
So for business or even just working together on something, this moral law is basically value the people you're with, create that supportive, ethical space.
Pretty much. You care for them, they'll care back. It builds a stronger foundation.
Okay, that's the moral law. What's next? Factor number 2.
Number 2 is heaven. And no, not literally heaven.
Right, I figured. So what is it?
It's about the external stuff, the things you can't control,
Right.
like the weather. Sun Tzu mentions rain, sun, wind, but also broader conditions, times of calm or darkness or intense pressure, things just outside your direct influence.
Okay, the uncontrollable variables.
Exactly. And leaders need to get how these forces might affect things. What headwinds are we facing? Any tailwinds? You got to factor in the unpredictable.
The summary also mentioned duality here, didn't it? Opposites.
Yeah, that success and failure are both always possible. A good leader prepares for both, learns from setbacks, doesn't just ride the highs. Acceptance and adaptation.
Right, resilience. Okay,
Right.
so moral law, heaven. What's the third factor?
The third one brings us back down to, well, Earth.
Okay, earth. So the tangible stuff.
You got it. The physical environment, the concrete things, technology you have access to, geography if that's relevant, the actual health and energy of your team.
Even the office space, maybe.
Could be any physical factor. And leaders need to be really aware of this stuff. How does the Earth impact reaching the goal? You can't ignore the physical realities.
So launching a tech product. Earth is your servers, the team's workspace, maybe even making sure people aren't burning out.
Precisely. All those real-world elements matter. It's a multi-dimensional thing, as the summary notes.
Makes sense. Factor 4.
Factor 4 is the commander. This is all about the leader themselves, the essential qualities.
Okay. What does Sun Tzu look for in a leader?
He lists 5 core traits: wisdom, sincerity, benevolence, courage, and strictness.
Okay, let's break those down. Wisdom.
It's about self-awareness, knowing your own strengths and limits, and interestingly, speaking only when necessary, not trying to impress people constantly.
Thoughtful speech.
Okay. Sincerity. Being truthful in what you say doesn't mean spilling every secret, but being genuine builds trust.
Right, benevolence.
Acting for the long-term good of others, not just short-term personal gain. And the summary made a great point. Kindness isn't weakness. Absolutely not. It builds that loyalty we talked about with moral law. Then courage.
Which isn't being reckless, I imagine.
Exactly. It's knowing when to act decisively, overcoming hesitation or pointless fear, but knowing the right moment. Calculated risk, maybe.
And the last one, strictness. Sounds a bit harsh.
It's not about cruelty. It's about discipline and order. Making sure instructions are followed, that the leader's word means something, that the whole operation runs effectively. Accountability.
Okay. Wisdom, sincerity, benevolence, courage, strictness. 5 big ones.
And the summary adds, look, lacking these doesn't guarantee failure, but it makes everything harder. Creates doubt, friction. If the team doesn't trust your wisdom or sincerity or feel your benevolence, they won't be fully committed.
Yeah, that buy-in is crucial.
There was also that interesting side note about separating war, pursuing goals from peace, like your friendships. Don't let the drive to achieve poison your personal life.
Good advice. Okay, that's 4 factors. What's the 5th and final one?
The 5th is method and discipline. This gets into the nitty-gritty of organization.
The operational side.
Right, knowing your numbers, who's doing what and where, timelines, managing the money. Basically, being organized.
Sounds essential, especially if things get bigger.
Totally. Sloppy organization, it's costly, leads to confusion, lack of direction. People need to know their roles, their goals, and of course, the finances need to be solid.
Okay, so those are the 5 constant factors. Moral law, heaven, earth, the commander, and method and discipline. Quite a framework.
It really is. And the summary also highlighted some specific quotes from the book that really resonate for leaders today.
Yeah, let's talk about those.
Yeah.
The first one mentioned was, "He who knows when he can fight and when he cannot will be victorious."
This screams self-awareness, doesn't it? Know your limits, know your team's limits, but also be open to feedback. Adjust the plan. Don't just blindly push forward.
Adaptability. Okay, another one was, "Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war and then seek to win."
Oh, I love that one. It's all about the planning, the vision. You figure out how to win before you start.
Right. The summary nailed it. Failing to plan is planning to fail.
Exactly. It's the prep work, the strategy up front.
Then there's this really profound one. "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting."
Yeah, that one's deep. In leadership today, that's about consensus, right? Respect. Achieving goals through collaboration, influence. Not conflict if you can avoid it.
Finding the win-wins.
Finding the win-win, negotiating well, building alliances, often much smarter in the long run.
Okay, how about move only if there is a real advantage to be gained?
Uh-huh. Be deliberate, be thoughtful. Don't just be busy for the sake of being busy. Focus your actions on things that actually move you towards a clear, worthwhile goal.
Avoid wasted effort. Makes sense.
It's about conserving energy, yours and the team's. Use it strategically.
In the last quote mentioned, "If you know the enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles."
Classic. Know the challenges, know your own strengths, know your weaknesses, maybe know your competitors' weaknesses too. Understand the whole landscape.
That thorough understanding reduces fear because you're prepared.
Exactly. Preparation builds confidence.
So the summary kind of pulls all this together into a few key themes for leaders. What were those again?
Right. 5 key themes. First was strategy, but not just like a checklist. It's understanding all the moving parts, the physical, the virtual, the people, the challenges, the time, everything.
A really big picture view. Holistic.
That's the word. Second theme, character. Super important. It's what makes someone a loyal team member versus someone who might cause trouble, making people feel valued, like family.
Ties back to that moral law thing again.
Definitely. Third theme, thought. This is the foundation. Leadership starts with thinking, considering, planning, organizing in your head before you act.
Mental discipline first.
Yep. Fourth theme, energy. Treat it like a valuable resource because it is. Don't waste yours, don't waste your team's. Apply it carefully where it counts.
Purposeful energy use. And the last one.
The fifth theme was vision. That's the guiding star for everything else, for the planning, the strategy. The final goal has to be crystal clear, not just to you, but communicated effectively so everyone's aligned and motivated.
So wrapping this up, looking at Sun Tzu this way, it's clear the art of war isn't just about war. It's packed with some pretty timeless wisdom on leadership, strategy, hitting your goal.
Absolutely. It's about understanding people, understanding the world around you, planning carefully, and realizing how much your own character matters as a leader.
It really encourages you to be strategic in, well, pretty much everything you do, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Leading a team, starting something new, even just personal stuff.
Yeah, it's a reminder that thinking things through, preparing, understanding all the angles, that's crucial for any kind of success.
So here's something for you, the listener, to maybe chew on.
Yeah.
Thinking about what you're facing right now, your goals or challenges.
Mm.
Which of Sun Tzu's 5 factors, or maybe those key themes, strategy, character, thought, energy, vision, which one really jumps out at you?
Mm.
And how could bringing some of that ancient thinking into play maybe give you a new angle, a different approach? Could you, for instance, find a way to subdue the enemy without fighting in your own situation, achieve things through understanding and collaboration instead of confrontation? We're thinking about.